In the world today, it's difficult to be bored. We have so many things fighting for our attention, such as our phones, TV, video games, and much more. We're almost always entertaining ourselves, and when we do get bored, it doesn't last long because we can instantly distract ourselves with these things. Most of us don't enjoy being bored. We always want to be doing something. But what if I told you being bored is actually good for you and it could change your life? Okay, so most of you are probably confused when I say being bored could change your life. Let me explain. First, I'm going to start with why we get bored and our brain's natural reaction to boredom. Then I'm going to explain the right way we should be reacting to boredom and how you can actually increase your productivity by being bored and how it could change our life. We've all had those moments when we're bored out of our mind. We're just sitting there thinking about what we could do to snap out of this boredom. We feel the need to always be doing something, and we'll feel uneasy if we're just sitting around doing nothing, staring at a wall. Hey, what's up? How's it going? Gonna talk? That's why it doesn't take long before we pick up our phone when we start to feel bored. We spend maybe an hour or two scrolling through our phone looking at social media before we get bored again, and then we turn on the TV. Then we spend a few hours on that, get bored of that, and then move back to our phone again. It kind of just becomes a constant cycle of trying to cure our boredom, and this constant cycle is caused by the dopamine levels in our brain. For all of you that don't know, dopamine is a natural chemical released by our brain that gives us pleasure and motivation. Whenever we do something we enjoy, we get dopamine. That's why when we eat junk food, we feel a lot more pleasure than we do when we eat our vegetables. So how does curing our boredom actually affect our dopamine levels? Let me give you an example. Alright, so over to my fancy piece of paper and pen we go. Let's draw this out. This is our baseline for dopamine. This is where we start when we're bored. So let's say we decided to turn on our favorite TV show and watch an episode to cure our boredom. We watch that first episode and our dopamine levels begin to go up. After the episode ends, our dopamine levels go down again. That's why when we finish an episode, we really want to watch another one. So to get that dopamine back, we watch another episode. And after that second episode, your baseline falls again. The more episodes you watch, the less dopamine you'll receive, and it falls and falls until your baseline is below normal. If you've ever binge watched a show, you'll notice you start to feel drained and your brain feels overwhelmed with information after you watched a lot of episodes. So basically, these activities such as watching TV, video games, social media, etc. increase your dopamine, and once you spend enough time doing them, your baseline begins to fall below normal. It leaves you in a constant state of wanting more dopamine, and that's why it makes it easy to keep spending hours and hours on these activities to keep getting more dopamine. So now, let's talk about what would happen if we stayed bored instead of instantly trying to find a way to escape our boredom every time. Wow, it's been like 20 minutes. Mr. Ball over here still isn't responding to me. I don't know what's going on. It's giving me an attitude though. Mr. Ball, you want to talk? When we get bored, our brain automatically tries to find a way to occupy our time. The problem is we always choose unproductive things to fill our time, such as all the stuff I've been mentioning throughout this video. But what if we didn't go that route and go for those things and we stayed bored instead? Our mind will automatically start occupying our mind with our own thoughts and we'll get lost in thought. Just think about it. How many times have you just been sitting there doing nothing and all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, you'll find yourself lost in thought? Now, why is it important to do this and how could it change your life? For one, it helps you better analyze yourself and just understand yourself better. When you have nothing to do, you can actually take the time to sit down, and let's be honest, we have hardly any time to ourselves throughout the day. We have so much going on between school, work, whatever other activities you're doing, hanging out with your friends. You just have hardly any time to yourself, and sometimes it's just better to spend this time thinking about how your day went, your life, and all of that, instead of doing these instant gratification things such as picking up our phone, playing video games with the very little spare time we already have. I feel like it's really important to have this time just to think to ourselves, because when I get lost in my thoughts just sitting there, that's when I have my most creative thoughts. That's when I have all my inspiration. And also, being bored and controlling your dopamine will give you motivation to do more productive things. Instead of responding to our boredom by doing the instant gratification things, we can instead seek long-term gratification. This takes us back to our dopamine baseline. We already saw what happens to our dopamine when we do instant gratification things. Now let's go over our baseline and what happens when we start seeking long-term gratification and we do more productive things such as building a business, reading a book, working out 4 to 5 times a week, things like that. So let's say we want to work out to get in the best shape we've ever been in. We work out 5 days a week, and every workout we do, we're getting closer to our goal over a long period of time. Monday's workout increases our dopamine, Tuesday's workout increases our dopamine, Wednesday's workout increases dopamine, Thursday's workout increases dopamine, and finally, Friday's workout increases dopamine. Wow, that was a tongue twister to say all those in a row. So our dopamine is slowly going up every day instead of falling like it was with instant gratification. With long-term gratification, it keeps going up every day, increasing the baseline for our dopamine. As you can see, the way you respond to boredom is what will change your life. If you respond to boredom by doing the more rewarding things that will give you long-term gratification, you will increase your productivity and your dopamine baseline. In turn, that will change your life. I used to spend my days checking my phone, going back and forth between all my apps looking for new posts, playing video games, being lazy. I always used to seek short-term gratification from all these things. And now that I look at it, I feel like I was wasting so much time. Over the past few months, however, I changed the way I responded to boredom. And that's when I started being more productive. Now when I'm bored, I try to learn something new or I just work on my videos. I hardly ever play video games or even go on my phone. It's just kind of boring to me now. Like, I don't find pleasure from that anymore. That's because I was able to rework my brain now to where I just don't find any interest in that, and I spend all my time doing more productive and more rewarding things. Okay, so I'm not saying to completely stop these things and to never do them again, because I still go on my phone, I still play video games sometimes. We all need that time to just relax, and we can't be productive 24/7. But what I'm saying is, you really need to limit them and stop using them all day or responding to boredom by using them every single time. Respond to your boredom in a more productive way, and I promise you, that's how you'll start changing your life. And I know it can be difficult to resist that urge to go on your phone and to not do all those productive things, because that's probably how you've been responding to boredom most of the time. Wow guys, we got a great opportunity today. We're going to be interviewing Austin Collins, and I'm so excited for this. So we're going to be asking him so many great questions today, finding out how he built his self-discipline and all of that. So let's get to it. First question right here. How did you build your self-discipline, and what are some ways that you work on curing your boredom? Let's get to it. The way I learned to control these urges was by building self-discipline. It definitely isn't easy to build self-discipline. It takes a lot of hard work, but let me tell you, it's worth it. I actually made an entire video on how I built my self-discipline if you want to check it out. Ever since I started improving my discipline, I've gotten so much more work done and started truly going after my dreams. I feel a lot more fulfillment now and seeking long-term gratification than I did seeking instant gratification in the past. Wow, you need to watch that video. I just got done watching it, and let me tell you, Austin went over so many great ways to start building self-discipline and become the best version of yourself. It makes me so excited watching that video, and it made me want to subscribe to his channel so much, so you should subscribe too. Yeah! So it's time for another question. Alright, are you guys ready for this question? What are some other ways that you resist the urge to go on your phone, Austin? Another thing that has really helped me over the past few months is just going outside, stepping outside for a minute, breathing some fresh air, because life is honestly more than just looking at our phone, scrolling, playing video games, or whatever, doing unproductive things all day. Life has like more of a purpose than that, like going after our dreams and all that. We could be spending that time that we're wasting on our phone going after our dreams and just use it more productively for long-term gratification. Just stepping outside helps you be in nature and just like realize there's more to life than all those unproductive things. Good interview. Wow, going out in nature, I would have never thought of that. That's like such a good way to get some fresh air, get excited. Maybe I need some more of that. I'm already way too excited, and I need to keep more excited. Whoa!